People who have had a friends with benefits relationship, how did it end? Just fizzled out due to distance and moving on with our lives. We both married the next people we dated. It ended with a wedding and the birth of my daughter. Still friends, no benefits. We broke it off, then started again. Then I realized I couldn't live without her. We've been married 14 years this year. She went to a party during COVID, turned out to be a swingers party. I got COVID from a fuckfest I didn't get to attend. Still salty. Ended up married to him. Have been married for 9 years and we just welcomed our first baby together. I got a BF, he got a GF, we decided mutually that we were better as just friends. Together 24 years and married for 17. Kinda bad because we started to get feelings for each other. Ended up catching feelings, and now we're navigating this weird space between friends and something more. It's like a rom-com, but messy. I caught feelings. They asked me to try and stuff that way down because they needed the connection due to some personal stuff. Bad suggestion, but I did that. Months later they caught feelings. Tough luck cause I had shoved it so far down that it was never coming back. Told them I'm out. Ruined a friendship of 8+ years. College FWB. We graduated, said that was fun, and happily said goodbyes. Life went on and we didn't keep in touch. 3 years later he lived across the country and he texted me to say he was vacationing with some friends in my city. Now it's 9 years later and we are watching Bluey, married with a kid. We caught feelings. Then we started dating. Then we moved in together. Now we're married, 10 years in September. I'm about to make dinner. We're probably going to watch something silly and spooky on YouTube afterwards, like Mr. Ballin, and then go for a walk. I have to remind him to look at the hotels I picked out for our upcoming vacation, and look at gifts to send our respective mothers for Mother's Day. And we still have the feelings we caught, and we still date each other, every day. I married him, LOL. We were FWB for about 6 months before we realized we were actually in love with each other and wanted to do the official thing. Got married about 6 years later. Been married for 5 years now, still love the guy. We ended up in a relationship after about a year of being friends with benefits. We're still together after 13 years. Oh great. We were both rebounding off other relationships and we were not meant to be together at all. But we enjoyed each other's company and we cared about each other. We were actually friends. When we ended things, he sang me to sleep and we cuddled all night. Love and care doesn't have to be committed. I have had several, but this is a very funny story. In my early 20s, I was hanging with 2 FWB at the same party. The 3 of us all had mutual friends, so it was bound to happen. After lots of drinks and letting the cat out of the bag, I was embarrassed that they would find. I told them both the truth, that I was FWB with both of them. They both laughed hard and shrugged their shoulders, and just kind of said okay. The night carried on, more drinks, and we all had fun laughing it up. We all went back to my place that evening and had a threesome. After a few weeks, things fizzled out between both of them. So, I started seeing somebody else and it turned into a 3-year relationship. After I was 3 months into my new relationship, I found out that both of my previous FWBs ended up dating each other. I was like, LOL, okay, didn't see that coming, haha. That had to have been around 2004. I found out that they just celebrated their 20th year together and have been married for 16 years. Both of them thanked me for introducing each other. No mention of that night, that is our little secret, SHHHH. LMAO. It ended when I met my girlfriend. My fuck buddy back then was sad, but understood. Fortunately for her, She met her boyfriend a few months later. Badly. Very badly. We had a relationship that just didn't work. We are married now, so it worked out great/terribly depending on how you define success in those situations. FWB- went exclusive and shouldn't have, broke up, FWB- new relationships and don't talk. I caught feelings, tried to end it, but he'd caught feelings, so now we're in a relationship and we're the best of friends. My children adore him, he's not romantic bone in his body, but I love him, the prick. It was a dumpster fire. But it taught me a lot, and over time I was able to accept my part of the responsibility for it ending the way it did. Now I steer clear of these situations as I know they don't work for me. Most people don't get out of these situationships unscathed. Not bad, it just kind of ended. I was on the way toward developing feelings, so I had pulled back some. The sex was about as good as I have ever had, but we were in completely different places in our lives, and had we moved forward she was going to be more of a dependent than a partner. I had left another relationship for that reason and just couldn't see doing it again. I had met someone else and it seemed like there was potential for something real, so I told her. About 6 months later she hit me up to see if I wanted to play because her new man told her she could see other guys. I told her I was happy to hear from her, but I wanted to respect my relationship. She said she understood, and I have not heard from her since. It's been 3 years now and I still occasionally think about the hot times we had even after marrying the woman that I stopped seeing her for. Ended fine. Just texted her and said I have a GF now, and she said okay, best of luck, you deserve it. She was a good Scottish lass. On a non-dramatic note. Still friendly but just sort of fading away from one another. They're now one of my best friends with no benefits. I'm a firm believer that relationships can evolve. I ended up wanting more in the relationship. He didn't. Ended our 8-year friendship. He ghosted me after saying he thought he might want a real relationship with me, got back together with his baby mama, had another baby with her, married her, divorced within a year or two, and throughout all this continued to send me random messages trying to meet up for 10 years after. I told him several times not interested, fuck off, etc., and ignored the last message in 2021 completely. Marriage. I started getting feelings, so I cut that shit off after I realized he would never actually want to be in a relationship. It didn't. We've been together for 16 years. Started off as close friends, she came on to me and we became FWB. One day we had a conversation about our future and she went on an hour-plus monologue about why we would never work out in an actual relationship, and talked about how we were on different life trajectories, had different levels of ambitions, different values on family, etc. All really good reasons not to date. A week later I was walking with another female friend, no romantic interest, and she saw us. Called me afterwards and began yelling at me for cheating on her. Then, when I pointed out I wasn't dating or romantically interested in her or the other girl, she blocked me. We were together for 5 years and just got married last year. They all ended pretty well. No feelings were caught. They all moved on to good relationships. We've been together 4.5 years with an 11-month-old LOL. We were FWB off and on for about a year. Our whole friend group knew what was going on, would just roll their eyes with our insistence on not acting like a couple. Finally decided to just lean into it. Have been together for 11 years, now engaged. I caught feelings, him not as much. Stopped seeing each other because there was someone else he wanted to peruse more. Yay. We went from friends to boy/girlfriend to FWB, and that stopped when she started to see her now husband. We're nothing now.